Welcome to Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress podcast, where we hear stories from fellow seamstresses just like you. We're able to share their success stories. We learn from wedding industry pros for the best business tips, and we get to hear from fellow sewists and crafters to hopefully inspire our creativity and our love for sewing. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're a bridal seamstress, I'd also like to invite you to check out our Bridal Seamstress business membership. We have a community of women that can testify to the power of genuine connection, friendship, vulnerability, the power of our six-figure seamstress method, and a genuine connection found in a business mentorship like this. All right, let's dive into the episode. Hey friends, welcome back to Secrets of Bridal Seamstress podcast, our Six-Figure Friday mini episode series. Last week we talked about the importance of having a wellness routine, right? So six-figure seamstresses have some sort of wellness routine that they're keeping as part of their weekly or their daily habits, whether that includes just a stretch break or a walk break or a trip to the gym or signing up for a gym class. There is a routine involved and you are very much worth the routine, okay? Well, today I'm going to take it a step further with your wellness and talk about eating. Because guess what? The six-figure seamstress remembers to eat. And it's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of us actually forget to eat. That's why this has to be like a topic. And this piggybacks off of last week's episode where we talked about how we forget to move our bodies and like see the sun because we're so busy in wedding season. Same thing. We can get so wrapped up in a project or, our to-do list is so long or we have like back-to-back fittings and then it comes to the end of the day and all we've had is like a stick of gum and like a granola bar and we're wondering why we have like zero brain capacity and we're super cranky and the last thing we want to do is cook dinner, so we stop for takeout on the way home. And it's like this never-ending cycle, right? I know it because I've lived it, okay? And sometimes I still live it and I'm like, how am I still here? Like, how did I still not eat today? And what this does long-term for your brain health is actually really scary. Our brain function thrives off of calories and energy, right? We use so much energy thinking and sewing. It's not just like we use calories when we work out. Like obviously we're going to use up more calories like running or lifting weights than hunched over a sewing machine. But we do use energy when we're problem solving or when we're focusing and concentrating, and our body needs energy to sustain that like fast moving, that fast paced thinking and critical thinking skills, I should say. Also, if you have a day that you're full of fittings, like back to back with clients and you're, quote unquote on, and you have your like client face on and, you have to be quick on your feet, you definitely need food for those moments. I know when I hit a wall, usually it's like 3:30. That's when I start getting like hungry if I don't have like snacks. And those 3:30, 4 o'clock fittings, I'm like, what? Like, I'm not quick. And I know what's happening to me. And oftentimes I say it out loud, like, I'm sorry, I think I haven't had a snack. I'm starting to like, slur my words. And usually it's kind of a joke or whatever, but like, it is true. And I feel it. And I know that you feel it too. So why is it that we get up in the morning, we go to work, and we don't think about packing food? I don't know. Or maybe you're like me and you do have a fridge full of food, but it's like, oh, I have to stop and actually eat. No, I want to finish this thing really quick and then I'll eat, right? That's kind of a habit that I'm still trying to break. Well, if you click on the show notes of this episode, we have a download of like snacks that you can bring to work. Or if you have a sewing studio at home and you're like, I don't want to take a break and like go to my kitchen because I'm never going to come back to the sewing room, right? We're going to have a list of easy snacks that you can bring to work. High caloric in all the right ways. You get some protein, you get some nuts, you get some apples and peanut butter so that you can be prepped for the week to actually consume calories throughout your workday. Okay. If you're like me, you don't like having breakfast. Oh, it's like, I'm like, almost 40 years old and I still don't like breakfast, but I know it's so good for me. I'd rather just have a cup of black coffee and then I'm good for the day, but I'm still trying to like get in the habit of eating a healthy breakfast. But I know that when I have like a solid breakfast in the morning, we love making like our breakfast burritos in batches and we freeze them. So when I have a good breakfast burrito, I'm like good to go for a few hours. But depending on what I'm doing that day, whether I'm just sewing or if I'm, working with clients and there's a lot of talking and like, body language happening, I'm going to get hungry within a few hours. And so I know that I want something that's like quick and easy to eat, that I don't really have to like heat up. I have a microwave at my studio, but like I don't want to use it because I don't want it to be stinky, So I want it to be like cold, but also like filling. So there's actually a lot of things to consider, I guess, when we're talking about eating at work. But that can't be an excuse for us not to eat, right? We can think in advance because we are adults, we are functioning adults, we are business owners. We can work this out and, think about how to plan ahead for meals, okay? What we love to use are these little, I can link them in the show notes too, these glass Tupperware containers that have different, sections. It sounds very basic, but guess what? I know that there are listeners who you are still struggling with how to pack your food. Okay, so that's how we're going to talk about the basics. So we have these little glass Tupperware containers that we use, and either I'll pack up like leftovers from the night before's dinner, or if I'm really feeling organized, I will meal prep for the week and have little snack packs for myself. So I'll have like grapes, cheese, pretzels. That's my little snack pack. You can pack like obviously salads for yourself. You know what? I'm not going to go through the whole list because you can download this, okay? If you're like me and you like to have something on your fridge that literally spells out what you can eat for the week, I got you covered. We're going to have that for you. But I want you to think about what would make sense for you. Like, where in your week does it make sense for you to plan to eat? And some of you are laughing listening to this, but others, and I would say most of you, you need this because you've been working for so long and you still have not mastered the art of planning ahead to eat. Okay. And you're like, when do I grocery shop? I'm only saying this because I still struggle with it. Okay. So I know you are too. What day of the week makes sense for you to grocery shop or pick up your online grocery order or whatever? Okay, fun fact, I actually love grocery shopping when I have time for it. I feel like it's such a luxury. Like I love taking my time, like going up and down the aisles and like, oh, what's this sauce? Whatever. Like I really enjoy grocery shopping, obviously when I'm not stressed and time crunched. But so if you enjoy it, great. If not, get your little online pickup order ready to go. But what day of the week makes sense for you to plan what you want to eat and grocery shop? And you might have probably 2 days a week where you're going to be actually planning the food out and like packing your snacks, or, in your sewing room, maybe it doesn't make sense for you to have like a mini fridge in there when you literally have a kitchen down the hallway. But you still want to take time to prep your food, even if you're working from home, because that means you have to take time to go in the kitchen. You're getting your whole lunch together. You're getting this big snack pack. And then it's like a half hour of your life where you could have been sewing that you're prepping your snack. So it doesn't really matter where you are in your business, physically where your business is located. Meal prepping and snack prepping is still important and it's still a time saver, right? So think about what 2 days a week you can prep that food, and then, get your grocery shopping underway. And then finally, when during the day can you eat? How many of you do not block off a lunch break? I think most of you. You're like, oh, I can cram in one more fitting. Sure. So your first fitting's at like 10 a.m., your last one's at 6 p.m. And do you eat? No. Do you plan on eating? No. So have that also be part of your meal prep, is the time to eat it. Okay. And have like a couple breaks throughout the day where it's like, last episode we talked about going for a walk or having your dance break or whatever. But in your day, also have like a little snack break or just a lunch break, where you have like 30 minutes to enjoy your lunch, not eating it at your sewing desk or whatever, drinking water with it, so it's actually a restorative time for your body to refuel and take a break, look out the window, whatever, listen to some music, but please include that in your meal prep as well. So you have your grocery shopping, your list planning, which we're going to help you with, your grocery shopping, your actual snack prepping in the cutie little Tupperware containers or whatever, which we'll link in here too for you. And then last but not least is actually making time for it during your day to eat. Your brain is going to thank you for it. Your body's going to thank you for it. And whoever you go home to at the end of the day, whether it's like your pets or your kids, they're going to be happy because you're not going to be just like a cranky mess. Because I will tell you, when I first started getting so much traction in my business, and this was when, I think this was the first year that I had a storefront, and it was hopping. Okay. And I was so excited, and I was like, oh my gosh, the more that I work, the more money I make. Like, this is so exciting. And I lost a lot of weight that year because I didn't eat, and it wasn't like a good kind of weight loss. It was like I was unwell. Okay. And I would come home and I would feel so drained. Like, I still remember the feeling of like walking out to my car. Like, if I think about it, like I can just like be right back there and just be so depleted. And like, ugh, at the time I lived 2 minutes from my shop, but it felt like the longest drive home. And then I was so hungry. So I would just like stuff my face for dinner, like whatever carby stuff I could get, or I wouldn't plan for, well, if you know me, you know that I don't really cook. So the cook around here is Duran. He's a great cook and a great griller, and he's really helped me with eating, like prepping food for me. So all these tips actually come from him, okay? But we lived really close to like a Safeway, so I would just like stop at Safeway, pick up something on the way home, or like pick up teriyaki or whatever. Like, it was always like, what can I get on the way home? Because I wasn't planning ahead. And yeah, it only lasts so long. You know, you might have seasons where you're really busy like that, or you might have seasons where your business is gaining so much traction. It's so exciting and it's like, who needs to eat, you know? But that is not sustainable. And so this needs to be part of your wellness routine, is remembering to eat and taking the steps in advance to have good food ready for you, to keep your brain moving in the right direction, and to keep, you know, that work getting accomplished because you have energy to spend on the sewing. Okay. Let me know what your favorite snack is to pack for work. We'll add it to the list. We'll just make a new download. But if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, you know what? Apples and peanut butter? No, I have something better for you. Tell me in the comments. We'd love to know. Let's share our favorite meal prep tips. I don't know. Maybe we can get like an SBS cookbook going or something. I don't know. Okay. Happy Friday, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks.